Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harachak Wadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last seconds of time. Kwam Yashala, Mighty Shalom. And this lesson is entitled, The United States No Longer a Democracy? Warnings of Rapid Autocratization. And in this lesson, we're going to explore the word autocratization, which is closely related to authoritarianism, all right, which is closely related to a dictatorship, all right, which is very, very closely aligned with draconian laws, all right. So Lord willing, this message is edifying. It says, Democracy Watchdog says, the United States no longer a democracy, warns of rapid autocratization. And I have that definition here. It says, autocratization is the decline of democratic traits and the gradual or sudden movement of a regime toward authoritarianism, where political power becomes less limited and more arbitrary. And when you go into authoritarianism, it has things such as mass surveillance, all right, the digital dollar, okay, 15-minute cities, facial recognition technology. All those things are embedded in authoritarianism. And as it says here, autocratization is the decline of democratic traits and the gradual or sudden movement of a regime toward authoritarianism, right? And we've been ultimately driving the point in on that this society is ultimately going to be turned into a society that's ruled and governed by draconian laws, as the scriptures say, two horns that spake as a lamb and a mouth as a dragon. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And that beast is talking about America, all right? An extension of the fourth beast system, all right, which was Rome, ancient Rome, all right? You have America, as the scriptures say, that whore that sitteth upon many waters, America and its European allies, all right? And the main grips and strongholds that America uses to govern its laws, all right, to govern its political system are the Democratic and Republican parties, which are the modern day plebeians and patrician, as it says in this chapter as well, all right. He exercised the power of the first beast because America is laid out in a carbon copy of ancient Rome, the Senate House, all right. You have the Democrats and the Republicans, which are the modern day plebeians and the patricians. All right. The Republicans will be the patricians and the plebeians would be the Democrats. Democrats will be the plebeians. All right. So we know that America is Rome all over again. This is Revelation 13 and 11, the latter end. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, right? Those two horns are talking about the Democratic and the Republican Party, all right? Two horns that spake as a lamb, all right? Two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, Salakia. And when you go into that word dragon, it goes into Dracon, all right? Which goes into draconian laws, because America is going to use those draconian laws and that draconian system ultimately to fully implement the MOTB, Revelation 13 and 16, which is later on down in this chapter. All right, so let's get that word Dracon. Dracon. It says a dragon, a great serpent, a name for Satan. And we know ultimately the left-handed angel of the Lord, which is Satan, all right, is using a specific nation of people, which is Esau, Edom, the wicked, all right, to rule over the planet Earth until they be taken out of the way, all right? So, like the scriptures say, who's coming is after the working of Satan, all right, which is Esau, Edom. He's able to perform those left-handed miracles, which the word left goes into sinister. He's able to perform those left-handed miracles. Mainly, the main one that he's going to perform is the MOTB, Revelation 13-16, all right? Because that's a part of his strength that he's been given on the earth, all right? He's been given the fatness of the earth, the dew of the heavens, all right? And with the sword, he shall live. And he has done that throughout the earth, man. Conquering, going throughout the earth, indoctrinating, colonizing, all right? Making the whole earth drunk with that wine. And as it says, the nations were drunk with her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right? Pushing that democracy throughout the earth, feminism, the alphabet agenda. All right? All those different doctrines and dogmas and wines. America has spearheaded those movements throughout the earth, man. All right? And now, where we're at the point of its demise, we're seeing the democracy turn into a full-blown authoritarianism system. And as this article goes into, autocratization, all right? So let's get some more on this. It says, key aspects of autocratization: a substantial decline in democratic quality, specifically defined as a decrease in the electoral democracy index. It says process. It often starts with weakening media freedom, and that's what authoritarianism goes into. Facial recognition. It goes into the digital dollar, all right? It goes into mass surveillance, okay? And that's what this society is turning into, and that's what the elites have planned ultimately to usher in the MOTB, Revelation 13-16, a cashless society, all right? It often starts with weakening media freedom, censorship, right? Followed by the suppression of civil society, opposition, harassment, and executive aggrandizement, right? Scriptures say they shall make a man an offender for the word, all right? This is the book of Isaiah 29-21, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of not. That's right. And they're going to persecute righteousness, we know, all right? Scriptures say the devil shall come down with great wrath, because he knoweth he had but a short time left, all right? But the men of the Lord, we're going to keep pushing and enduring until the end, man, all right? This is just a tall tale sign that the society is moving along for prophecy's sake, all right? It says it can happen through gradual erosion, democratic backsliding, or sudden military coups, right? And we're seeing a lot of democratic backsliding, all right? Gradual erosion, because they're ultimately transitioning into a cashless society, all right? It's going to come by the way of different T attacks, Black Swan events, all right? Different invasions and threats that the elites are going to use to justify coming into these different cities, implementing martial law, draconian laws, all right? Taking away your freedom of speech, all right? Mass surveillance, facial recognition, all of that technology has been massaged into the backs of the society. Pay with your palm. What do you think this is leading to? This is leading to a cashless society that's spearheaded by the MOTB, Revelation 13-16, the charagma, man. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a charagma in their right hand or their forehead, all right? And that's what the society is leading to. So I want to look this up. Is autocratization aligned with draconian laws? I think I spelled it wrong. Okay, it says autocratic action. It says autocratic actions and draconian laws are frequently aligned, as both represent forms of centralized, unchecked, and severe exercise of power. It says while autocratic refers to who holds the power, a single ruler with absolute authority, and that's what the society is drifting to. all right? A single ruler with absolute authority, or a single ruler with the appearance of absolute authority, but he's really being controlled by the global elites, all right? It says draconian describes the nature of the laws themselves, excessively harsh or punitive, right? Revelation 12:12, the devil shall come down with great wrath because he knoweth that he had but a short time left. This is Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you. The word devil goes into diablos, deceiver. Who's the deceiver throughout the entire earth that has the earth in his grips? Esau, Edom, the wicked. All right, he's deceived the entire earth. He was loose for that little season, all right, beginning with the Renaissance period, to deceive the entire earth. And he has done that, all right? But his lies have been uncovered throughout the earth, and the light of the wicked is going to be put out. But it's going to come through, all right, the form of Jacob's trouble, all right? Martial law, the MOTB being forcefully implemented. All of this is prophecy up until the deliverance of the hopeful elect. America being destroyed by ICBM nuclear missiles in the lake of fire, man. All right? The elect getting the victory according to Revelation, the 15th chapter. Being faithful unto death and receiving that crown of life, man, if that be our lot. So it says, having great wrath because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And if you have a short time to do something, all right, you may go from a smooth, drawn-out plan to going with your move full force, man. And that's what Esau, Edom is going to do. Scriptures say that the Lord will shorten the days for the elect's sake, all right? So even though Esau, Edom is going to come with these harsh penalties, all right, scriptures say, woe to you that decree unrighteous decrees, man. All right. Even though he's going to implement a lot of these excessive and severe laws into play, all right, the Lord is going to lift up a standard for his men in that day. Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. That's right, man. And that's what they're ultimately going to do. They're going to implement, all right, the MOTB into law, all right. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a charagma in the right hand or forehead, all right. The scriptures say he framing mischief by a law, man, all right. This is Psalms 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, with frameth mischief by a law? And that's Esau, Edom, man. He frameth mischief by his laws, man. And he's going to do that, all right, through this autocratization system, this authoritarianism system, all right, through his draconian laws, all right, that spake as a dragon like we went into in Revelation, the 13th chapter, okay? And he's going to come down with hell, all right, in order to try to fulfill his enterprise. But the Lord said he's going to disappoint the devices of the crafty so that his hands cannot perform his enterprise, man, all right? So Lord willing, this message was edifying. I'm going to give infinite honors and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakhakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Until next time, Kwam Yashala, Mighty Shalom.